On Blues Radio International, it's Jesse and Audrey continuing our viral, antiviral world tour with our next stop, Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin, for our friend Cathy Grier. Hi, Cathy.
Hey, Jesse. Hi. Hey, Audrey.
Hi.
Oh.
It's great to have you join us here. We've got the world watching, and we haven't been to Sturgeon Bay yet, and we have yet to bring your music to everybody, so I'm excited about this opportunity. How are things where you are with the COVID-19 situation?
Well, I'm not far from, Sturgeon Bay is not far from Green Bay. We're north of Green Bay. And they have a case now at one of the meat packing. So there's some issues there. We're a little bit out of the fray, but we are a tourism location. They call us the Cape Cod of the Midwest. Surrounded, I'm looking at Sturgeon Bay right now. Lake Michigan's there, Green Bay's behind. And it's a beautiful, beautiful place. It's absolutely stunningly beautiful. And a lot of people have second homes. They come from Chicago, from Minneapolis, from Milwaukee. So there is definitely concern.
Yeah, well, there's a concern everywhere. And I think Audrey and I, even though we're 25 miles apart here, both live in areas that are very much tourism based for the economy. So it's going to be difficult for people on a variety of fronts. But for musicians like you who are out and playing, it's been especially challenging. What's that been like?
It's zero. I mean, this is a time, actually, it's a time of year where I usually write more. I do get out and gig. I travel more to my gigs. But once Memorial Day comes, I can gig all the time, very close to home, and then just go out for like the bigger concerts, like Summerfest in Milwaukee, which is now supposedly pushed till September. We'll see. Yeah, wow. It's devastating.
Well, one thing that we've found is that we all know music heals, we all know music helps, but now we're finding out it helps in an even bigger way than we ever anticipated we would need it. And which is why we really appreciate your being here with us and sharing some of your music. What would you like to start with?
Oh, I got so many songs. Well, I was just, I'm in the middle of finishing up an album, which is actually stuck in the studio, unmixed and unmastered. So it's just percolating in Milwaukee. So this song is called "The Good Thing."
Tell me that I'm too damn sweet. Got the wares of an angel from my head to my feet. Try my best to ignore them and mess up this place. Every time I get tough, I get laughed right in my face. I don't want to be a good thing, know how to hold my own. Just a good thing. Don't wanna wreck up my home. Still, I'm nobody's fool, can forget the rules. Stay all night having fun. You might say I'm clever, cause I play a scent wine. I like nasty weather, dance like the devil having fun. Just a good thing. Is that what you're looking for? Just a good thing keeps them coming back for more. Come on, get caught up in my good thing. Come on, get caught up in my good thing. You know you might wanna judge a book by its cover. One good thing deserves another good thing. I wanna be a breaker of promises and a breaker of rules. Breaker of every lesson that I ever learned in school. Just a good thing. I know how to play the game. like the eye of a hurricane.
Yeah.
Right.
Nice.
It is a good thing for sure. Dang.
What we're living in right now, I feel like here in Sturgeon Bay, we're in the eye of the hurricane. It's beautiful out. We can wander around. We don't, socialize, but we don't go out and play. But it is this silent thing where you're just waiting, and hope that the social distancing makes all the difference. So.
Well, yeah, Lake Michigan. I know that, being out there, you can certainly feel like you're the only person in the world. So I can understand that perspective for sure. And another perspective is New York City Subway. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about that?
Sure. Well, I'm originally from New York. My family's all New Yorkers. I grew up in Connecticut. And as soon as I could get a chance, I went to New York City. And actually, I moved to New York City much later in life. I ended up touring, and then I lived in Key West, and I lived in Paris, France. And then I returned to New York in the late 90s. And I was a professional musician since 78. And I found that the club scene in New York was really tough. 4 or 5 bands a night, and you had to get, do your 45-minute show and get off. And I just wanted to play. So I thought, well, I'll just go play in Union Square. And then I discovered that you really can't do that. And so then I discovered that there was a program called Music Under New York, and it's sponsored by the MTA. And the reason why I wanted to get involved with a program like that is I like structure. And it wasn't like it was a financial need for me, like I needed to get down in the subway and get tips. I really wanted to play. And then it took me, I auditioned in Grand Central, and I got in the program in 1999, and I stayed in the program until 2015. So I basically performed 3 to 4 times a week all over Manhattan and Bronx, Queens, Brooklyn, and in places like Grand Central and Union Square. And it was an incredible experience because it really taught me about humanity. And my heart goes out to all the buskers in the world that aren't able to play right now. And so what you're doing is you're providing a virtual busking, because we're connecting in this way, and we don't know if anyone's really listening or not. And that's the point of busking, is that in busking, you just have to play and know that people don't hear with their eyes. So they might be hearing you because they're 3 blocks around the corner, or they're down the hallway, so it was a very liberating experience for me as a performer to be a busker. And so why NYC Subway Girl is because I'm from the background of a do-it-yourself artist, and I figured I needed a brand, and nobody was going to find me by Cathy Grier, and the program gave you a big banner. So I trademarked it and became NYC Subway Girl, and people would say, but you're clearly a woman, you're not a girl. And I said, well, that girl inside of us.
Yeah.
Anything is possible, I think. So
it's a relative term, It's, I find that, the contrast between being on Lake Michigan and being underground in the New York City subway, that's just, incredible. I bet you love being out there now.
Yes. And my heart goes out to all my friends and family that are in urban environments in the city and in apartments. And yeah, it's pretty incredible.
So, what would you like to play for us next?
Ooh, actually, I will play you a song. I'll switch over to my cigar box.
Awesome.
I moved to Sturgeon Bay because of the Steel Bridge Song Festival, which is run by Pat McDonald of Timbuk 3 and Purgatory Hill, and he and Melanie Jane and many others, but they run the Holiday Music Motel. And the Holiday Music Motel is a retro motel right here in town. And 3 times a year, musicians come from all over the country, and we write. We collaborate and we songwrite. And we spin a Jameson bottle that has been adapted to a platter, and we spin the bottle. Instead of kissing each other, we go off and we write songs.
I saw the picture of it.
We write songs,
cool.
and then we record them, and then we perform them. So in 1 week's time, it's not just about experiencing what it's like to songwrite and collaborate. It's also getting in recordings that are like pretty down and dirty, but high quality. And then having to perform them live by the end of the week, you're like, oh yeah, I remember I just wrote that song. So they say it's music so fresh it hasn't been written yet.
All right.
So this is one of the songs that I wrote with Troy Theron and Julia McConaughey. And in February, we write songs that are inspired by art. And there was a piece of artwork that was made by a local artist named Melissa Clark. It was a necklace, and so we decided to call this "Key to My Survival."
I thought key to my survival was you. And if I put forever on it hard to be true, well, step right in and you bust it on through. Was I thinking that the key to my survival was you? Glass heart locked too tight, dark promises brought into light. You no good for me, your broken chastity. Well, you step right in and you bust it on through. Kept me thinking that the key to my survival was you. Key to my survival. I knew you were callous and you could be crude. I see you're crazy, one messed up dude just in time before you take all that's mine. Well, there's a piece of myself that you can never ever find. It's the key to my survival. Free to decide. I'm free. I'm free. Step right in and you bust it on through. What was I thinking that the key to my survival was you?
All right.
Yeah.
That's great.
Thank you.
I see your guitar has a name. Is that the maker or is that her name?
Her name, Rose is the maker. Bruce Rosie's out of Neenah, Wisconsin. Actually, you see Neenah on a lot of the sewer. What have I just lost the name of the big metal piece that's on a? Oh my God, the brain is a terrible thing when you're in isolation. Anyway, there's a lot of people out there that are saying the word right now. Bruce Rose made this, and he made my Telecaster. So, and Rosie. So this is Rosie.
Ooh.
I'll play her. For Rosie Flores, who I'm a big fan.
Beautiful.
And Rosie, actually, I met Rosie, and she signed the back of it.
How
So,
awesome.
Yeah. So, yeah, those are fun things. So, this cigar box doesn't really have a name. I just Rosie 2, the smoking Rosie.
So what
So-
else have you been doing? I know that you've been in isolation. How long have you been home?
I was supposed to be in France on March 9th.
Oh.
So I was preparing to go to France for a couple of weeks, and the last performance I had was the end of February. And then, I because of what was going on in Europe, what was going on, I called it, I'm looking in the rearview mirror, folks, and I could see that something was happening. And then what was going on in New York, I knew that my trip was going to be canceled. So what have I been doing is, well, I was going to be finishing my record. It's a full production, like these songs that I'm playing. Like, for example, Key to My Survival, I've got great featured Milwaukee musicians on it. Greg Cox plays guitar. I don't know if you know his work. He's amazing guitar player. Billy Flynn is on also on Good Thing. But
yeah,
so
Billy is amazing. We've had him on our show. What an incredible artist.
What a great guy. He played harmonica on one track, and he played guitar on Good Thing. And so with the record done with rough mixes, and it's 17 tracks, I kind of went crazy. And on March 16th, I started dancing a song a day. 17 days, right up to April 1st. And I recorded me dancing in my living room to my rough mixes. And my reason behind that is if I released the unmixed tracks as a digital fingerprint, you're not really going to know the difference between a mixed and an unmixed. And I didn't want to get it out there, but I wanted to do something to relieve my stress. And when I was really stressed out, I dance.
All right.
And I'm a stage performer, so of course I'm comfortable on stage. You're moving. So I just decided I was going to dance to my songs, and I put them up on my social media, and there's a whole playlist, and now they're all in the order of the record. And it was fun. In the middle of, I was singing along with them. So I was dancing and singing along. And then saying things from time to time. I would say, I hope you're social distancing, and it's the real deal, folks. So that's what I've been doing. And now that the weather's starting to get a little better, I've got a garden, so I'm out in my garden. And I try not to drop into too much of what's going on politically, because the virus shouldn't be a political issue. And
let's stay away from politics and maybe get another song.
Yes.
What would you like to play for us next? You got something else from the album or from your deep catalog of work that we can?
Rosie, you got Rosie over there.
Yeah, let me play Rosie. Let me get Rosie going. So I had so much fun. I never thought that Wisconsin was going to be a place for me. I really didn't. But when I was in New York City and I needed a change, it was the fall of 2015, and I bought a car, which, you don't have a car in New York. I bought a car, and I drove around the country. And in driving around the country, one of the stops was Madison. And I met Tony Menzer, who is an amazing bass player. He's worked with Clyde Stubblefield and a gazillion other musicians. And he said, you need to know what's going on in Sturgeon Bay. Now, this is October of 2015. And I said, and where's Sturgeon Bay? I felt so geographically ignorant. And when he told me it was north of Green Bay, I said, dude, I'm heading out to California. I will see you later. And sometime in March of 2016, Melanie Jane of this famous Steelbridge Song Festival contacted me and said, we've seen your stuff on YouTube, and we'd love to have you come for this festival in June. So that's what happened. So I ended up here, and that's where some of these songs came from. But this one is sort of from the vault, and I've always wanted to record this one. Something called "Get Me Away." So I'm gonna dedicate this to the virus.
Tell me, do you really think that you love me? Tell me, do you really think that we're through? what I really think is by loving you. I lost myself by losing myself. I lost you. I said, get me away from this heartache. Say the grass is greener on the other side. That way you're gone to fill your cup. Now that you find yourself on the other side, I can be seeing all my loving you gave up. I bet you are. I said, get me away from this heartache. I said, get me away from you. First time that I saw you, you gave me such good advice, yes you did. But when I started to lose control, that's when I knew I was losing a hold of my life. That ain't right. They say that time heals all kinds of pain. I'm not really sure that it's true. It's not really healed, but absorbed into life and transformed into something totally new. I said, get me away from this heartache. I said, get me away from you. I said, get me away from this heartache. I said, get me away from you. I said, get me away from this heartache. Yeah. I said, get me away. Get me away from you.
Nice.
It's a COVID
And we-
love-hate song.
Yeah, we haven't had a song dedicated to COVID-19 yet, so, it's about time.
Get me away from you. Yeah. I have to say that your series is it is a breath of fresh air. There is so much beauty going on online, but it's so overwhelming. There's so many people that are learning live stream. They're turning their poetry, they're reading, they're cooking, they're doing all sorts of things. Everyone has their own reality show. And it's just, I feel like the time when somebody was handed you a clicker or a remote control and you're like, here, have at it, without any program. So what I love is I know that Blues Radio International has a program, and I know if I could go to you every day, I'm going to see somebody incredible from all over the world, and you're bringing them right here into my home. And I feel like you guys are like Alan Lomax. You're going around and you're capturing this all over the world. It's so fantastic, and goodness gracious, there's so many of us that really don't know what to do with their time, and you guys are probably more busy than you've ever been in your life.
We are, but I'll tell you what, to hear that from you means so much, and we've gotten great feedback, and thank you so much, Cathy.
Yeah, worth it. Every minute.
I've got a question for you that may have a different answer pre and post quarantine. You're surrounded by some amazing instruments there. Do any of them speak to you?
You just gave me chills. Thank you. Because I think I've been having a hard time trying to relate to the fact that I am surrounded by so much beauty. I mean, if this is a prison to be in, it ain't a bad one. The Melody Maker speaks to me because it's got significance in that I bought this in 1983. I bought this in 1983 in New Haven, Connecticut, where I was living. And in 1990, when I moved to France, I kind of gave it to my brother. He thinks I gave it to him.
Yeah, little did he know.
And in 1990, and every time I would see him, he lives in Atlanta now, and every time I'd see him, I'd say, so when are you going to give me my guitar back? And then he would send me, like, beautiful pictures of guitars, like, if you get me this one, I might.
Yeah, no.
Well, I turned 60 in November, and he sent it to me for my 60th birthday. So.
Oh, that's very nice.
Oh.
So I have it back, and Melody, and she's back in the family, so she speaks to me a lot. Yeah.
Okay, well, I'd like to take out our interview on a beautiful note that I know one of your guitars is going to inspire you to share with us. I'm not sure what it's going to be, and you probably don't know either. That'll be the exciting part.
Well, something just spoke to me. I'm going to go acoustic here.
All right.
Okay, this is getting dangerous now.
Yeah. So this is my Songbird. I bought it Sam Ash in 1990. That was a fun story. And this was my Subway guitar because it's so easy to carry. I don't know if you're gonna. You hear it okay? It's
Yes.
a hollow body, so it doesn't have a really big depth to it. But I think easy come, easy go.
We met days ago, baby, and now it seems like years gone by. You picked me right off the floor, didn't know what I was headed for. Easy come, easy go. Look around, but don't you take love for granted. You came and you took me by a force. I didn't know what it was until I fell. I know you're still unsatisfied. Well, satisfaction's worth waiting for. Easy come, easy go. Look around, but don't you take love for granted. See things with new eyes, and I'm so hypnotized. I guess you realize love is contagious. Haven't you heard the take a love for granted. Easy come, easy go. I said, look around, look around, look around and take your time. Easy come, easy go. I said, look around, but don't you take my love for granted. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Cathy Grier, wow. Thank you for joining us from beautiful Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin. I can't imagine how beautiful everyone around the world is feeling getting to hear your music and getting to see you play. You've given us such a gift, and we are honored to be able to share it with a worldwide audience. Thank you for what you do, for playing in the subways, for bringing such light and happiness to people who are just going about their day and don't even realize how much better it is because of you. And you gave that selflessly, just as you're giving this selflessly, and we can't thank you enough.
Well, thank you. I needed this. You made my day. Thank you, Jesse. Thank you, Audrey. This just so, yeah, so good.
Well, thank
Well,
you.
We love you and hope you stay safe,
Yeah.
and we'll look forward to all being together physically at one point. And for now, this is really wonderful. Thank you for being with us.
Audrey, Jesse, thank you.
Thank
Okay.
you.
We love you.
Bye.
Take
we
care,
do.
Cathy.
We really do. Mwah. Bye.
Bye.
We need that.
Yeah.
Love is all we need right now, folks. It'll get us through it.
Sure will. Bye.
Bye.